Hi everyone, and we are back with a new Khamrah for this year, the third flanker to the Lattafa Khamrah series. And we will also see whether it's worth your money and time or not. Well, the original Khamrah and the Khamrah Kahwa are really popular even today, and the Khamrah Dukan, although quite good in terms of smell, wasn't really successful as it was not very innovative and also did not do things drastically differently. Well, the Khamrah Waha promises to do it, but will it be able to stand by its promise or not? We will cover it all in this video. So let's begin. As usual, let's begin with the presentation and packaging. For a change, the Khamrah comes up with a vibrant and bright blue color, almost signaling a fresh fragrance. Of course, we will discuss about the smell of this perfume later in this video. But coming to the box, it's business as expected. At the bottom half of the left side, you will find the expiry date of this fragrance, and at the top half, there is a hologram for the authenticity of the product. Now moving on to the back of the box, it says Eau de Parfum concentration and it comes in a 100 ml standard size. Nothing more and nothing less. Apart from that, there is some regular information that you will find with lot of fragrances. So let's open it up. The packaging of the Khamrah has always been top notch and I expect nothing different. You will find the bottle at the center snugly fit, but my previous fragrance, the Dukan, had moved a little bit during the transit. Thankfully, Waha comes out alright. Now the first thing you will notice here, of course, it is the juice color, but also the mirror finish this time comes in a neutral silver color finish or maybe in the chrome finish. Whatever it may be, but it is certainly different from other Khamrah finishes which came with a golden mirror finish. Now let's keep that aside and take a look at the bottle design. It is exactly the classic Khamrah design, but there are some minor cosmetic changes here. The cap now has a frosted finish to it. At the front, it is written Lattafa Khamrah Waha and the mandatory sticker that you will find with all the perfumes. Even the bottom half comes in a frosted finish, isn't it? I think they missed out on a completely frosted bottle. That would have been much more interesting in my opinion. But I must concede the turquoise Khamrah Waha, it is the most beautiful Khamrah fragrance in this lineup. Now let's quickly move on to the spray test. The atomizer of the Khamrah Waha is not a pressurized one, it's just like the predecessors, a regular atomizer that will get the job done. Now the Khamrah Waha has such a beautiful presentation, I will give it a solid 9.5 for that. But now let's move on to the smell section. When you are going to spray this perfume for the first time, you will immediately notice how different the Waha is compared to the original Khamrah and all its flankers. But you will also notice that it is not like the Havas lineup where the fragrances are extremely different and disconnected. Instead, there is a continuity between all the Khamrah releases. But for now, let's focus on the opening. In my humble opinion, the opening of Waha is really the best part of this fragrance, where it has light citruses, slightly aquatic elements, and a hint of tropical feel about it as well. Now if you will look up to the notes breakdown of this fragrance, a specific note of cucumber might just catch your attention, but to be honest, I am not really getting any of it, because for that specific note you might just connect this fragrance with the Nautica Voyage or some similar sort of fragrances, but trust me, it's miles away from that. Now returning to the opening of this fragrance, it is quite refreshing with almost a transparent feel to it, but the thing is the opening doesn't last very long. The fragrance quickly transitions to a mildly aromatic and a very light powdery smell, but just don't expect it to be a powdery kind of fragrance. And in this stage, I find the resemblance to be quite strong to that of JPG Le Beau Le Parfum. It's just a touch more aromatic compared to the Le Beau Le Parfum. I have a feeling they have tried to market this as a summer fragrance, but in my humble opinion, the sweet aspect of this fragrance certainly overpowers the citrusy and aromatic facet. Now moving to the main part of this fragrance, the dry down, you will find that the citruses have completely faded away and also the aromatic aspects move to the background. What comes to the front is the tonka bean sweetness, and that is also the reason the powdery smell is so noticeable here. Although this one is also a sweet fragrance, the difference between this and the other Khamrah, it is the vanillic sweetness. The Waha has a light vanillic aspect, not like the Kahwa or the Dukan. Instead, the sweetness is amped up by the tonka beans. See, this one is not a linear fragrance. Initially, the smell is dominated by fresh citruses, and with the dry down, the sweetness takes over. But whatever the freshness this perfume carries, I just can't see it as a summer fragrance, especially when the temperature is hovering around the 35 and 40 degrees Celsius mark. It is better suitable for those intermediate seasons, be it spring or autumn. and I would not necessarily take it to the winter season as well. You have the regular Khamrah, Kahwa and Dukhan for that. Now coming to the versatility aspect of this fragrance, I would say it heavily leans towards the casual side. The sweet aspect of this fragrance doesn't quite make it a contender for formal events, but it sure does help in being a perfectly unisex fragrance. And what about the performance aspect? Because all the previous flankers of the Khamrah have set a very high bar for it. After testing it for 10 to 15 days, currently I am getting about 6 to 7 hours of performance and a decently moderate projection for the first 1.5 hours. Is it decent? It sure is. But the thing is, the other Khamrah are definitely stronger, especially in the performance category for sure. Personally, I would rate this one a solid 7.5 out of 10. What I really appreciate about this fragrance is the uniqueness it brings onto the table. Even though it has some similarities to other fragrances, honestly it is not trying to be another fragrance. But I must say I would have appreciated this fragrance a lot more had the beautiful opening lasted a bit longer. Is this a fragrance that you should run out and buy? I would say no. Unless of course you are a big fan of Khamrah series and you are collecting all the Khamrah fragrances out there. I would say sample it first and see if the nuances of the fragrances attract you, do they speak to you, or if you're a stickler of sweet fragrances, then no doubt this can be right up in your alley. One more thing, when I am recording this video right now, the prices of all the Khamrahs has been raised quite a bit, and that is one of the reasons I am not suggesting you to blind buy this fragrance. Yet again, the Khamrah Kahwa is still the undisputed winner in this entire Khamrah lineup, at least for me. This was certainly one of the most interesting ones, but that's not enough to displace it. Overall, if I had to give a rating to this fragrance, I would rate it a 7.5 out of 10. It is one of the best looking Khamrah out there, and it also brings something unique to the table, but that wow factor is still missing. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, and if you love fragrance related content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel, and while you are there, do not forget to hit the notification bell as well. And that's it for today's video. I will meet you all in my next video. Till then, stay safe and as always, stay honest.